Hello, kids! Welcome back to Puppet Stories with Justin. Today, Jester is taking a little break, so I invited a new friend. She is so excited to meet each and every one of you. So get ready, say hello to Dragon!
Hi.
What? Dragon, are you okay? What's wrong?
Hi, Justin. Hi, kids. I really want to go travel places.
Huh? You want to go travel places,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't?
Mm-mm. My wings are too small. My mommy says they will get bigger and then I can go anywhere I want. But that's a long time away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I've got something that can cheer you up.
You do?
That's right. Why don't we read a book?
Huh? Wait. Why would that help?
Well, because books are a great way to travel to places you've never been,
Really?
using your imagination.
Imagination? What's that?
Oh, that's the thing inside your head that lets you think of things.
Wow, that sounds really cool. I want to try.
Well, great. I have just the book for today's adventure. It's called Scrambled Eggs Super, and in it, we hear about a boy who goes to lots of different, very interesting places.
Wow, this sounds exciting.
Do you want to read the title?
I sure do.
Well, go right ahead.
Okay. Scrambled Eggs Super by Dr. Seuss.
Great job.
Random House, New York.
Okay, that's just the publishing information.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, let us begin. I don't like to brag and I don't like to boast, said Peter T. Hooper. But speaking of toast,
Peter T. Hooper? Who's that?
that's him right there.
Oh,
He's the one telling this story. He's telling his little sister, Liza, all about his adventures. You'll see. Just keep reading.
okay.
And speaking of kitchens and ketchup and cake and kettles and stove and the stuff people bake, well, I don't like to brag, but I'm telling you, Liz, that speaking of cooks, I'm the best that there is.
Really? He's the very best cook?
Well, I think he might be exaggerating just a little.
Oh,
Let's see. Why, only last Tuesday, when Mother was out, I really cooked something worth talking about.
oh, let's turn to the next page and see what he cooked up.
You see, I was sitting here, resting my legs,
Uh-huh.
and I happened to pick a couple of eggs. And I sort of got thinking, it's sort of a shame that scrambled eggs taste always the same. And that's just because ever since goodness knows when, they've always been made from the eggs of a hen.
Hey, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Just a plain common hen. What a dumb thing to use with all of the other fine eggs you could use.
What kind of eggs?
Well, let's see. And so I decided that just for a change, I'd scramble a new kind of egg on the range. Some fancy, fine eggs that no other cook cooks, like the eggs of the ruffle-necked salamagooks.
What? I've never heard of that bird before.
Yeah, amazing. A salamagookses. Say they should be good, so I went out and found some as quick as I could.
Oh, great. That's a really smart idea.
But he didn't stop there. While he was lugging them back to the house, I happened to notice a tizzle-topped grouse.
Huh?
In a tree down the street, and I knew from her looks that her egg and the egg of the salamagooks ought to mix mighty well, ought to taste simply super, when scrambled together by Peter T. Hooper.
Oh, that's him.
That's right. So he's going to take those eggs too. So I took those eggs home and I frizzled them up and I added some sugar, 2/3 of a cup, and a small pinch of pepper and also a pound of horseradish sauce that was sitting around and also some nuts, and I tasted the stuff and it tasted quite fine, but not quite fine enough.
Oh, so he's got to go look for more eggs?
That's right. Let's take a look.
Oh, goody, goody, goody.
To make the best scramble that's ever been made, a cook has to hook the best eggs ever laid. So I drove to the country, rather quite far out, and studied the birds that were flitting about. I looked with great care at a mop-noodled finch. I looked at a beagle-beaked, bald-headed grinch. And I looked at a shade-roosting quail, who was roosting right under a lassalax tail.
Wow!
And I looked at a spritz and a flannel-winged jay, but I just didn't stop. I kept right on my way, 'cause they didn't have eggs. They weren't laying that day.
Oh, you're right. None of them have eggs.
So he kept going up. Then suddenly, boy, up that hill a short space, birds!
Birds! Wow!
They were laying all over the place. Great happy gay families with uncles and cousins, all laying fine strictly fresh eggs by the dozens.
Whoa! Amazing! This is really fun.
That's right. Why, I'd have a scramble more super than super. Scrambled Eggs Super de duper bee booper. Special deluxe a la Peter T. Hooper.
That sounds delicious.
Oh, man. Let's see what he found. I picked out the eggs in a most careful way. I only picked those that I knew were grade A. I only took eggs from the very best fowls, so I didn't take eggs from the twiddler owls.
Oh,
'Cause I knew that the eggs of those fellows who twiddle taste sort of like dust from inside a bass fiddle.
with a bass fiddle.
I don't know. I went for the kind that were mellow and sweet, and the world's sweetest eggs are the eggs of the queet, which is due to those very sweet trout that they eat.
Oh.
And those trout, well, they're sweet 'cause they only eat wogs, and wogs, after all, are the world's sweetest frogs. And the reason they're sweet is whenever they lunch, it's always the world's sweetest bees that they munch.
Oh.
And the reason no bee can be sweeter than these, they only eat blossoms off beezelnut trees.
I see.
And these beezelnut blossoms are sweeter than sweet, and that's why I nabbed several eggs from the queet.
Oh, he's a smart little fellow.
That's right. But I passed up the eggs of a bird called a strudel, who's sort of a stork, but with fur like a poodle. For they say the eggs of this kind of a stork are gooey like glue, and they stick to your fork.
Oh, no. We can't use those.
And the yolks of these eggs, I am told, taste like fleece.
Fleece?
That's right. While the whites taste like very old bicycle grease.
Ew, yuck.
The places I'd hiked to, the roads that I rambled, to find the best eggs that have ever been scrambled.
Wow, look, it's like a jungle.
I hunted new birds along wild tangled trails, through gullies and gulches, down dingles and dales. I wriggled my way and I crawled at a creep, through a forest of ferns that was 40 miles deep.
Oh, wow!
And I mushed through the brush till I found a fine quigger, whose eggs are as big as a pinhead, no bigger.
That sounds really improbable. Are you sure this is a true story?
Well, I don't know. Let's take a look. Then I went for the eggs of a long-legger quong.
A long-legger quong?
Yes. Now this quong, well, she's built just a little bit wrong, for her legs are so terribly, terribly long.
Oh, no.
That she has to lay eggs 20 feet in the air, and they drop with a plop to the ground from up there.
Oh, no.
So unless you can catch them before the eggs cratch, you haven't got eggs, you've got long-legged hash.
Oh, no.
Wow. Eggs. I'd collected 302.
What's this place?
Oh, just listen, we'll see. But I needed still more, and I suddenly knew that the job was too big for one fella to do. So I telegraphed north to some friends near Fazol, which is 10 miles or so just beyond the North Pole.
Beyond the North Pole?
And they all of them jumped in their catamasside, which is sort of a boat made of sea leopard hide. Which is they sailed out to sea to go look for the Grice, which is a sort of a bird which lays eggs on the ice, which they grabbed with a tool, which is known as a squish, because those eggs are too cold to be touched without which.
Oh my goodness! This is amazing!
Yeah, it's right. And while they were sending those, I got word of a bird that does something that's almost unheard of.
What? What?
It's hard to believe, but this bird, called the Pelf, lays eggs that are 3 times as big as herself.
Oh, that's impossible!
Not impossible, just very improbable.
Wow!
How that Pelf ever learned such a difficult trick, I never found out. But I found that egg quick, and I managed to get it out of the nest and home to the kitchen along with the rest.
Wow! This little kid is really dedicated.
That's true.
What is this?
I believe this is in the mountains of Zums. Let's take a look.
Wow!
But I didn't stop then, 'cause I knew of some ducks by the name of the single file Zumsy and Zucks, who stroll single file through the mountains of Zums, quite oddly enough, with their eggs on their thumbs.
What? That's really strange.
You're right. And some fellows in Zums who I happen to know just happened to capture 1,000 or so, and they wrapped up their eggs and they mailed them by air, marked special delivery, handle with care.
What? 1,000 eggs? That's a lot of postage.
I'll say. I needed more helpers, and so for assistance, I called up a fellow named Allie, long distance. And Allie, as soon as he hung up the phone, picked up a small basket and started alone to climb the steep crags and jags of Mount Struku to fetch me the eggs of a Mount Struku cuckoo.
Oh no!
Now, these Mount Struku cuckoos are rather small gals,
Oh? Ah! Oh no!
but these Mount Struku cuckoos have lots of big pals.
Oh dear!
They dived from the skies with wild cackling shrieks, and they jabbed at his legs, and they stabbed at his cheeks.
Ah! Oh,
With their yammering, clamoring, hammering beaks.
oh no!
But Allie,
Huh?
brave Allie, he fought his way through,
Oh yeah!
and he sent me that egg, as I knew he would do,
Uh-huh.
for my scrambled eggs super dee duper dee booper, special deluxe a la Peter T. Hooper.
Wow! Well, what a dedicated man, this Allie.
Yeah. In the meanwhile, of course, I was keeping real busy collecting the eggs of the 3-eyelash Tizzy.
Oh, 3 eyelashes?
No more, no less. They're quite hard to reach, so I rode on the top of a ham-icka-schnam-icka-schnop.
Huh? Is that a real creature?
Well, I don't know. Look at it. It's right there.
But that's such a silly name.
Yeah, it's true. But some animals have silly names. Maybe it's real, maybe not. Then I found a great flock of southwest-facing cranes, and I guess they've got something that's wrong with their brains. Because this kind of crane, when she's guarding her nest, will always stand facing precisely southwest.
Huh? Well,
Well, I don't know. To get at those eggs wasn't hard in the least. I came from behind, from precisely northeast.
oh. I see. He snuck up behind. But why do they all stand facing southeast?
Southwest.
Oh, right.
And I captured the egg of a grickly gractus who lays 'em up high on a prickly cactus.
Wow! Wait, why can that bird sit on a cactus?
Maybe he's got a very well-protected rump.
Oh, I suppose you'd have to.
Then I went for some ziffs.
Huh?
They're exactly like zuffs,
Huh?
but the ziffs live on cliffs, and the zuffs live on bluffs.
Well, I see.
And seeing how bluffs are exactly like cliffs, it's mighty hard telling the zuffs from the ziffs.
Wait, what? Ziffs?
But I know the egg I got from the bluffs, if it wasn't a ziffs, from the cliffs, was a zuffs.
Oh, I'm confused.
Well, that's okay.
What's next?
Let's see.
Oh no!
Now I needed the egg of a moth-watching sneth, who's a bird who's so big she scares people to death.
Ah!
And this awful big bird, well, the reason they name her the moth-watching sneth is 'cause that's how they tame her.
Wait, she's tame?
Yeah,
Oh, I see. She likes watching moths.
sort of quiets her mind. And while she's watching, you sneak up behind and you yank out her egg. So I got one, of course, with the help of some friends and a very fast horse.
Oh, because you had to run away.
That's right.
Wow!
If you want to get eggs you can't buy at a store, you've got to do things never thought of before. Why, to get at the egg of one very small doff, we had to pry all of one mountain top off.
Woo! I see.
Wow! Then I heard of some birds who lay eggs, if you please, that taste like the air in the holes in Swiss cheese. And they live in a big Zanzibar trees. So I ordered a tree full. The job was immense, but I needed those eggs, so hang the expense.
Wait a minute. Wait. This is all about Peter T. Hooper,
Yeah,
who's a little kid?
yeah.
How did he afford this big tree?
Oh, don't worry about it. Let's just listen to the story.
But it doesn't make any sense. Whoa! Look at that!
I still needed one more, and I saved it for last. The egg of the frightful, bombastic aghast.
Oh dear!
And that bird is so mean, and that bird is so fast, that I had to escape on a jest.
A Angelica Jazz? I never heard of such a thing.
A fleet-footed beast who can run like a deer, but looks sort of different. You steer him by ear.
By ear?
That's right.
That's silly. Why would he steal by ear?
I don't know. That's just the way you steer a jest. All through with searching, all through with the looking. I had all I needed, and now for the cooking.
Wow! Look at all those eggs. So many eggs! There's lots and lots of blue ones, and lots of red ones, and lots of white ones, too.
That's right. Even some striped ones.
Striped eggs!
I rushed to the kitchen, the place where I'd stacked 'em. I rolled up my sleeves, I unpacked 'em and cracked 'em and shucked 'em and chucked 'em in 99 pans. Then I mixed in some beans. I used 55 cans. Then I mixed in some ginger, 9 prunes and 3 figs, and parsley, quite sparsely, just 22 sprigs. Then I added 6 cinnamon sticks and a clove, and my scramble was ready to go on the stove.
Wow! That's exciting! Oh, I wonder what it's going to taste like.
Let's find out. And you know how they tasted?
How?
They tasted just like,
Yeah?
well, they tasted exactly
Yeah?
just like
Like what?
Scrambled Eggs Super de duper de booper, special deluxe a la Peter T. Hooper.
Huh? What? That's it?
That's the end.
Wait a minute. Wait. But that's his eggs.
Yes, it is.
I think he was making it all up.
You do? Well, maybe he was just trying to tell a story for his sister. But his sister liked the story.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't real.
Well, even though it wasn't real, you had fun, didn't you?
Well, yeah.
You felt like you went to all these amazing places that he made up in his mind.
I suppose I did.
And so, it doesn't matter whether it was real or not. You enjoyed it. That's the power of your imagination. You can use it to travel anywhere, as long as it's in your mind.
Wow, that's really cool. I am so excited. This was a lot of fun.
Well, that's all the time we have for today.
Oh,
But we can read another book next time.
no. Yay!
I'll see you later, kids, on Next Time with Puppet Stories with Justin.